everybody, and welcome to Dead Talk, where we do a deep dive into the anthology series, The Dead of Night. We are here on episode 1 with the series creator, aka the Dead Father, Jacob Grimm. How's it going, man?
It's going good.
So, the first question I have, how did you put all this together? Like this massive crew that you have and all these filmmakers, how'd you assemble them?
Well, it's kind of been like a long time coming. This has been like a passion project idea of mine for right about 10 years or a little more. I tried to do this at one point, probably about 10 years ago, which was just the basic idea of getting local filmmakers together and making like an anthology series, just getting local filmmakers together in the room and trying to create something. And that was the basic idea that I wanted to do. And so I tried this probably about 10 years ago. It was called Folklore at the time. And we shot, I think I shot my episode for it. But the whole idea then was every episode, it was still horror, but every episode was based on like a legend or folklore type scenario. So we shot like an episode or two, and as it kind of just works out in film, no one ever says like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I quit. It just kind of goes away, and people start working on other things, and and that was it. So that happened. Then just went on with life. Team partnered up with Sal Hernandez. We formed STX Media. We made a couple of movies, and then COVID happened. Everything stopped. And during that period, when we were just on like the break time now, I was kind of started thinking about the idea again, and I was like, I wonder if this might be something to pursue right now. It's not really doing anything else. So the first person I called was Jake Gonzalez, and I was like, hey, I have this idea. I want to get together. It's like some filmmakers, do like a horror anthology. It can be whatever it is, as long as it's kind of horror based. Do you think anybody else would be interested? And he was like, oh, hell yeah, absolutely. let me make some calls and see if people are interested. And then from there, that's when he got together. He called like Jimmy and Gerald, and because I had known a bunch of the filmmakers around, but not like besides like some highs and buys at some events and stuff, weren't like really hanging out. And so yeah, but we had like a first kind of initial kind of get together meeting. I kind of pitched the idea to everybody, and to my surprise and just happiness, everybody was totally on board kind of right away. They're like, yes, absolutely. This sounds great. I want to do this. And boom, the train started right there.
So, and the amazing thing is, like, you basically assembled the Avengers for this. You have like the best local filmmakers, the best local actors and actresses, and that in itself is quite the feat.
We had a great team, like a great team, and the way it actually, which was funny because the way it actually started with the initial idea and pitch was everybody would kind of pitch me a story. Go write the script. I'd read the script. I would there was really no kind of like rules or like censorship on what you could and could not include. The main thing was like, as long as it could be shown on YouTube, you're good. Because that was always going to be pitched to be a web series. But the idea was, okay, you develop your story. You tell me what it is. We're good to go. You would go off and make it. And then you basically come back and oh, here's my movie. And then we, put it out in an order online. What ended up happening was, so my episode was the first episode to kind of go into production to kind of kick everything off. And when we were doing that, we were assembling like the production team, everybody was kind of just brought on, for that first initial episode. And then what just happened was just everybody just wanted to stay on board for like the next episode. And kind of organically, we just formed like this production unit. And everybody just moved on from one episode to the next. So every film had a new director and a new writer, because most of the directors, well, pretty much all the directors wrote their own scripts, but the actual production team behind it was all the same, like the actual crew behind it. So everybody just had a great time doing it, and no one wanted to like, no, I want to work on the next one. First question always like, so when are we doing the next one? So what started off is like you go out and create your thing and then bring it back turned into like, no, we're all just going to do this together. And that just kind of, it formed on its own, just like organically. And I thought that was just like the greatest thing. And we ended up with like, I don't know, like a great, like the best team to do this.
And that helped throughout the production because every one of these episodes looks great. So like the quality control was there, which, sometimes when you're filming independent things like this, the quality isn't paid attention to. But here it is.
No, and that was one of the great things. Well, one, we have Jake shooting all of them. I think he shot them all except for Main Street, which Gerald shot, which still looks great. Like you wouldn't even know like there was like a difference between anything. But like the way it kind of worked is we all worked so well together, and we kind of turned into such a well-oiled machine as we were going. Is we could all like kind of like give, I don't say like or give notes, but just kind of give it like, hey, what if you try this? What about this? Everybody turned into everybody else's cheerleader to make their episode the best it could be. Any given set, you had like most of the people who were working behind the crew were also the directors of the other episodes. So you had like a lot of filmmakers that could offer insight and to like help the the filmmaker who's actually up to bat directing for their episode. So I think that also really helped to try to keep the quality up, as everybody is trying to make the best product. And for everybody else, it's not just like, oh, I want mine to look good and I don't care about anybody else's. No, it was always like, how can we make this the best all the way around?
That in itself is hard to do. It's hard to get a bunch of filmmakers together, but to get them to get together and work together,
yes,
like it's basically unheard of.
Well, I've been in the film, like the local filmmaking game for a while. It's been a long time. So I've seen the kind of evolution and change, and I like to tell like it's you can tell that the newer filmmakers that are coming up now are way more collaborative and open for collaboration than it ever kind of seemed like when I started. So that's, that's just great. Everybody's more willing to like, to play ball and help someone else out. And it's not just like, I'm over here, you're over here, and, I do my thing and you do your thing. And I feel like this project really kind of shows what I've always believed could happen here in Corpus with local filmmakers, is that we can work together and we can create something cool.
Yeah.
So
we're here to talk about Welcome to the Family.
Yes.
Episode 1.
Yes.
Is written and directed by you.
It is. Yes.
So I got like some Strangers vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your inspiration for this?
Well, to me, the honest truth, what ended up on the screen was not at all what the original episode was going to be. I actually went into it with a completely different script, same cast, but just a completely different script. I wrote that, I prepped that. Jake and I storyboarded everything. We scouted it, and we did everything. We were ready to go. It was all based on around the same characters and the same kind of, I guess, initial concept. And it all kind of based on a few years earlier, Jake and I made a short called Stranded. And it was using the same like clown characters, but it was like these young couples stranded on the side of the road. A car pulls up behind them. They think it's someone to help, and it turns out that is the clowns, and one of the couple gets abducted at the end. So my original idea was like, well, I want to use those characters again because I really liked how that turned out, and I liked the characters and stuff. So that was the initial idea. It's almost like, let's do a sequel to that. But you don't need to watch that one to understand this one. It stands on its own. So anyway, so I wrote that. Everybody was happy with that, and we went into prep on that. And at the time, I felt like I'd never been more prepared for a shoot before. Like usually it's always like, okay, hey, we got to hurry. We're doing this. We're filming here. We got so much time. I had a lot of time to like prepare. So I got, costumes done, like locations were done. Like I said, we storyboarded everything. We were ready to go. And then we locked the shoot dates in, and as they were getting near, it looked like weather's not good because it took place mostly outside on the side of the road. It was kind of like a continuation of like what the first one was of ideas. and it looked like, oh man, I think it's gonna storm real bad. And I was like, I don't want to not like. I got everybody's locked in. You know, schedules were lined up finally, and it's one of those things like we have shoot dates, so it was either like we either postpone this, and I already don't want to get off to a bad start for this. Be like, oh, is this like an omen for things to come? Like, no, we're shooting on these days that we got locked. So the idea was either postpone or come up with something else. So within, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 days, I scrapped that original script. I already knew what I had, which I already had all the costumes and props and all actors and all that. And I did have a location because it wasn't like there was one part in the original script like at the end that took place at this like as like an indoor kind of like a barn location, which is in the movie. The actual like that barn in the final scene, like that was always going to be used for the ending of the original movie, but just not as prominently as it is in this one. So I was like, I have this location, so we can film here. So we went out there and we looked around, and that location also had like some, I don't know, I want to say they were like old kind of like, they were like sheds, like they were like storage sheds or maybe like chicken sheds or something, but they were like there on the property, but they were all emptied out and like they are in the movie. So the first scene where you see Jinx talk to Nadia's character in the beginning, that and where Jada's character's held, those were there. So basically the story turned into, well, let's tell a story about what would have happened after that initial story. So we tried to turn it around to where we didn't have to be outside all the time. So now we're inside, and that's the story that we ended up shooting. So from being the most prepared ever, I was literally like flying at the seat of my pants the whole time, like trying to make this up as I went along. I guess the only thing that kind of saved me was I had great actors. We had a great crew. I already kind of knew the world that we're living in and how these people should interact. So I could, just to kind of get me over that finish line.
That's nuts.
No, it was very stressful. like those 2 weeks.
Was it okay? So earlier you were explaining that you basically let the directors write whatever they wanted to, as long as you can put it on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So I think a key takeaway from The Dead of Night is for indie filmmakers out there is minimal cast and minimal locations. That
would make it the easiest, but no. But also like it wasn't always like minimized like that, because like I mean you could look at an episode like Hello. It was written to take place in a high-rise building. I mean it's a minimal cast for sure, and it's a minimal location you're also in, but you're like, well, where are we going to get a high-rise building? So like it wasn't always like write what you can get. It was more along the lines of write what you want to write, and we'll figure it out. Yeah. And because I've gone both ways with it. I have gone to like, I'm only going to write what I have access to and where I know I can get to and what I can get. And that works for some things. But I've also I just want to write. I just want to write where the story takes me. And I'll figure it out. I'll figure out a way to do it. And if I have to change some things, then we'll change some things. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for right now, to tell this story, I need to tell it in this way. Yeah. So and we kind of went both ways with it. Even on like More the Great, it was like, well, it's all outside. It's all these things. It's like, well, where are we gonna get like a place to have like all this land that we can just have and roam over for free? And we figured it out, and it worked out, and and we got it. So, I mean that one's still like kind of a minimal cast thing. So maybe that's a pretty good point on there. But I guess I don't want to always just say like just write to what you can get, and then but just write it and then try to figure it out.
Yeah, I guess you can add tenacity to that because you need to always be wary of what you can do and what you have. Yeah. But then, just like you said, like if you want to write a story that takes place in a high rise, do it and then figure it out. Because that set was awesome. That location was awesome, and it's sprinkled throughout this anthology. It's like everything just looks professional. Everything looks really cool, and you just handled the quality control.
I'm really proud of what we created, and like and everybody and the series as a whole. So just the fact that it's coming out now and people get to see it finally, it's one of my highest like professional moments, I guess.
How long did this take before from start to finish?
From start to finish, a little over 2 years. So it was basically kind of like a year of production because we only filmed on weekends. So 2 weekends to shoot and only on weekends. And then probably about like another year for post to finish them all out and stuff. So
Wow.
yeah, no, it's been a journey.
And it's great because like a lot of filmmakers, they just don't have that in them. You know, like after like a year, they might just stop.
Yeah.
You know, like I've seen that a lot being a filmmaker myself. Like even with things I've done, like I'll go shoot something that I think is going to be longer and ends up being a short, and then I just don't edit it.
Yeah.
It just kind of sits there and dies. You know.
I've felt that urge to just be like, I mean, on other things of like, you know what, it didn't work out. We'll just, we'll move on from that. But I kind of always got it instilled in me to kind of like, no, you need to finish it, because that also will read to other people on like, well, I don't know if I want to work with him because he doesn't finish his stuff, kind of thing. And this became like, as we went along, it grew much bigger than I was initially anticipating. This was all just supposed to be like, hey, let's make some cool shorts. We'll throw them on YouTube, and that's it. We're done. But as we were going and everybody was really getting into it, everybody wanted to help all the time. And the crew was like, we just kept, moving on to the next one, the next one, next one. Everybody was getting so pumped to finish it. It just became so much greater that it was like, we cannot not finish this. Like, we have to finish this. And even if it became like, if I have to sit down with you to get this done, we're gonna finish this thing. Like it has to be done. And like, I think also thank Jake like for like, lighting the fire a couple of times under us, like giving calls like, how's it going? How's that cut going? Because everybody kind of went off after they shot. They kind of went off and edited on their own. But I would still, we would like. They would send me cuts or they would send me things and I'd give notes, and sometimes I would actually go and we would edit it together and we would finish the stuff out, and and then we all helped and worked, like Brady did like visual effects for some of them, he did some score for some of them else, so like, and then I would edit like some of them, and then Jimmy would edit other ones, and then we all like I said, it was all just like such a great collaboration with everybody that we wouldn't let each other fail.
Yeah.
When at the end of the day, like this has to be finished, and we did it. And it's just took a little bit to get there, but we did it.
Yeah, and the end product like is really good. So, yes.
Thank you. No, that was the thing. I was like, it's taking a little bit. Like we might as well like make it the absolute best that we have the ability to do right now, because we could have like just rushed it out and finished it like that same year. You know what I mean? Like, oh, here you go. But I didn't want to do that either. I wanted to be like, no, I want to make this the absolute best of to the best of our abilities that we have right now. And of course, we're always the goal is to always like what you're making now to be better than like the last thing you made. So you're always trying to grow. But what came out was like, this is hopefully the best that we can do at this point right now. And of course, whatever the future brings, it'll be better than that. So.
And it's like one of the cool things too is you'll see it in later episodes that you have some first time filmmakers, and I'm jealous because this is such a great environment for them to learn in, because just like you're saying, like y'all were all there working together as a team. You had other filmmakers on that team, so like I just think it's got to be a great environment for them.
No, well, I hope so. They've all said that it was, but no, like I hope that we made this a good environment. That was like, but since a lot of the first time filmmakers were also actors, and some of the other ones they already knew the team. Everybody already knew each other, so hopefully this could be like one of like the easiest kind of easygoing kind of sets to kind of come on to. And that was also kind of a goal. Like I've been on both kinds of sets. Sets were like, oh, you could feel that kind of tension in the air and stuff like that. Then also ones that are just like, I'm here. Like, also at the end of the day, it needs to be fun. Like, are we going to work hard and get what we need to get? Yes. Is it going to be long hours? Yes. But I also just don't want it to be miserable. It shouldn't just be miserable. This should be fun. And especially if you're coming in as like a first time like solo director, and you want to kind of like tell your story and stuff, you should have that kind of support group next to you. Not you don't need people. It's hard enough to do this, much less somebody being like someone fighting you on every decision on something. Like, there's no reason to make it that much harder.
Yeah. Going back to your episode real quick, the thing I liked the most about it is that whenever it was over, I wanted to know what the hell happens next. So
Yeah.
Is that something that you might want to explore later on?
Yes, I really do like these characters in this world, and like I am interested just myself of like kind of exploring it more and opening it up more. I have some ideas for maybe turning this into a feature, down the line somewhere that'll kind of like broaden this, like open up the story a little bit more. But I have some. There's some thoughts floating around in there on like what would happen next. What happens to someone going through this after like what happens at the ending, like after you've done the actual like, I guess like ceremony. How do you like what happens to you? Like that's my kind of questions I'm asking myself on like for these characters. So no, yeah, definitely. I would love to come play in this sandbox some more.
What are we doing after Dead of Night?
Taking a little break. This, it's been Dead of Night all day, every day for like the past couple years. So now that it's out and people get to see them, taking a little break. I guess I got, there's a few things still like on the fire. I like working on like developing like more than one project at one time. You never know which one's going to go next, or one's going to just needs a little bit more time and then one's ready to go. But yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a break right now, but I'm always, we're always developing something new. Maybe a new Dead of Night. Maybe Dead of Night takes a different, like a different form going forward. So
what was your favorite experience on this?
I have a few. Like there were some fun moments. Honestly, my favorite experiences were like just kind of like the downtimes in between setups when, just like hanging out, laughing, joking around, being behind the monitor, watching as we kind of like, I don't know if we're gonna get this shot. How's it gonna come out? And then you get it, and it's just like, oh man, that's perfect. That's better than I could imagine. Like, like the little goals that we made. Like, oh, that actually looks really good. I don't know if that was gonna work.
Yeah.
But no, just like there's so many throughout the series. I don't have like a particular one. I think, I mean, at the time we're recording this, we haven't premiered it yet, but probably at the main premiere will be pretty special when we actually get to show it to a whole theater full of people for the first time. So, yeah.
What do you hope comes out of this at the end of the day?
At the end of the day, I honestly just hope people enjoy it and we can get more people to recognize the kind of local talent that we have here, and hopefully this will open the doors to more projects and more opportunities. I mean, for us, for the other filmmakers, if it goes out there and it grabs a huge audience and a lot of people watch it, and we start and the phone calls start coming in, then I guess job well done, and that's the kind of goal. But the goal at the start was basically kind of really to see if we could do this, to see if everybody what would happen when we brought all these filmmakers together, and then I just want to see it grow. Like, if there is another Dead of Night, or if anything, like I would love to be able to work with a budget, because we did all this with no money. Like this was literally all out of everybody's pockets. and calling in all the favors that they have for locations or actors or makeup effects or anything. This was all done by ourselves. Like I did blood work on like all of the movies and stuff, but just there with like, you know, putting blood on things, and then then when it got too much for what I knew how to do, then I, you know, call in Sal, and I was like, hey, we need some makeup. So, but yeah, no, that's the goal, to hopefully help us kind of take that next step in productions.
Okay. Well, sir, that's all I got.
That works.
So why don't you tell people where they can find you and where they can find Dead of Night?
Well, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Jacob Grimm on Facebook. Jacob Grimm Studios on Instagram. The Dead of Night is Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, where all the episodes are coming out. It's all the Dead of Night series. So on everywhere. So just search that up. It'll pop right up. Okay. And yeah, hope everybody enjoys the rest of the episodes.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. It's been a pleasure.